Okay, a lot of people have been asking me questions like, what do I do? What do I think the odds are of like bad things happening to immigrants or trans people or women or whatever? And I don't like responding to questions like that because, you're going to make a fool of me. I make a prediction. What happens if my prediction's wrong? Well, now you're cursing me from the bowels of hell to which you've been sent for the sin of sodomy. It's a difficult, you put a lot of weight in my shoulders. I wanted to talk a little bit about organizing. So I've said maybe a little bit hyperbolically a few times now that I think that the left project in America is dead. I am speaking like, poetically here. Obviously, for one, a project can't die. It's not a person. It's not a living thing. For two, it's not dead permanently, so it can't really be dead. Left organizing in this country right now is going to have to go quiet for a little bit for the same reasons that left organizing historically has gone quiet in every country that is controlled by the far right. Let's not be stupid here, okay? I'm not here to send you guys, off to your doom actively organizing against a government that doesn't even respect the basic First Amendment right to organize against it. I'm not trying to get you all in trouble. I will say this, and some of this is stuff that you've heard from me before, but I really want to reiterate it because I feel like my greatest obligation in terms of responsibility is to your well-being. I don't think I'm your dad or anything, but if I'm going to give you advice, and a lot of you come to me for advice, so okay, right? Like here I am, right? If I'm going to give you advice, my first priority is to secure your well-being. So I'm just going to be upfront with this. First, let's talk to the queers, okay? Go dark. I don't mean go back in the closet. I just mean go dark. Grinder, I wouldn't lean on it too much. Apps that track your period, I think for women are like a good example of the kind of digital supervision that targeted groups might experience, where it might be like, I don't think the government's going to arrest you for being gay. I just can foresee a lot of fuckery along the lines of like, okay, here's an example. Ken Paxton wanted to create a list of women who leave the state to get an abortion. Also, a list of transgender individuals in Texas. Why create a list if you're not going to do anything with it? Ken Paxton has said that he would prosecute people for sodomy if he could. The Supreme Court is 6-3 Republican right now. It might get even further right under Trump. I don't think every bad thing is going to happen. I think it's worthwhile to prepare for potential bad things, to be as cautious as you can. In Missouri, they wanted people to out trans or queer people. Yeah, and there's going to be a push for that. I mean, in that one city in Texas, there was that effort, not effort, I mean, it succeeded. That $10,000 bounty on people using the wrong restrooms, where there's a civil liability, people can sue you for 10,000 or more if you're found to have used the wrong restrooms, but it's like civilly managed. So unfortunately, you can just throw lawsuits out however you want. All I'm saying is that we're entering an environment of fear and uncertainty and doubt. It's FUD time, okay? So does this also apply for blue states? Yes. So let me try to sum this up as best as I can. I don't know how effectively blue states are going to be able to shield you. However, I think that the odds are a lot better there than they are elsewhere. I think that you can be trans or gay or whatever and live comfortably and safely through most any bad times in any state of the union. In large part because I think that this is a big country and it's possible for a lot of people to slip through the cracks. I don't think we're doing a full-on door-to-door SS Jew roundup bit, okay? I think that it's possible that you might live comfortably anywhere. I think your odds are a lot better in a blue state. I think your odds are a lot better in communities where people will protest your arrest if you're arrested for, I don't know, sodomy or whatever. I think your odds are better. It's one of the reasons why I advocate getting to know your neighbors well. I think that the best thing that you can do to prepare for full-on societal collapse is not stockpile a bunch of guns and ammunition and what have you. It's to stockpile food and water, and also to talk to your neighbors and have their phone numbers. Should anything happen, they're there for you, and you're there for them. What if your neighbors are chuds? Excellent question. If your neighbors are chuds, I still think you should get to know them, unless they're actively hostile. Please remember that the average Republican voter, the average Trump supporter, is not someone who's literally like, yes, I want them all dead, da-da-da. I know that they're overrepresented online. That demographic of the Trump base is overrepresented online. And I'm not saying there's only a few of those people. There are a lot of Republicans who are that bad, but it's not all of them. And I really do think that the vast majority of people who voted for Trump the likelihood of it being your family member or your neighbor or whatever, give it 50-50, give it 60-40, I don't know. Some of them you might be able to talk to them. There are a lot of Republicans who have a black friend who they like. Oh yeah, I don't like LGBTQ agenda issues because that's like they're grooming children, but I have a nephew who's gay and he just wants to be left alone. Transgender people, oh, I don't believe in that, but my sister who's going through college, like she just, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I don't want anything bad to happen to her. Nah, man, my brother-in-law's completely lost the right. I'm not interested in the anecdotes. I'm talking averages. A lot of people listen to me, okay? Get to know your neighbor, all right? If you think they're a freak who would celebrate your arrest for being gay or whatever, then don't talk to them, obviously. Save up money as best as you can. You're going to need money in the case of an emergency, okay? Don't participate in vices. Don't waste money. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Eat basic, simple, healthy foods, all right? That are cheap, that are good for you. Try to get in shape. Everything is going to be easier if you're in a good position. I promise you, healthcare is not getting any more accessible for the next while. You do not want now to develop like type 2 diabetes, okay? I said this in the video that I released like before, and I mean this, okay? It is possible for people to find happiness in difficult situations, but it requires strength in adversity and discipline that you might not personally possess because most of you have had relatively comfortable lives. Have all of you had them? No. Some of you have had really rough lives. Have I had a comfy life? Yes. I'm not speaking to you from a position of a person who thinks that he's better than you, okay? I'm only saying that, like, there are people living harder lives out there under more repressive regimes. There are homosexuals in Turkey and Egypt. There are homosexuals in Iran. There are people eking out a good life. And it can be good anywhere and everywhere. It's always possible. But it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of temperance. So do what you can to make your life easier for yourself. And that does mean eating healthy. That does mean exercising. That does mean adjusting your expectations. If you are transgender and you're still in the closet, I won't sugarcoat it. Yeah, maybe it would be like worthwhile to stay in the closet for a while to try to work out what the environment's going to be like. Yeah, I'm not going to bullshit you. If you're gay, I really don't think the right's going to go after gay marriage, at least not like federally banning it. That would be surprising to me. At the very least, that's something they might pursue down the line. But if you're gay and you're in the closet, maybe you have a little more leeway because there's more political will, like backing your right to exist and live a good life. I don't think they're going to be arresting people for being gay, no matter what Ken Paxton wants. But, exercise caution. I don't know about that advice, Vosh, being trans and in the closet is deadly to your mental health. Respectfully, don't patronize me. I know. You need to approach your life and the decisions that you make with the calm and the careful consideration of Sheldon from the Big Bang Theory. Okay, that's what you're looking to do. Okay, we're talking. You need some supercomputer shit going on up here. All right, bazinga, exactly. You need to be a genius about it. You need to look. I'm just going to speak like frankly here. Most of you have no self-control. Your attention spans have been eroded by social media, and your standard for happiness is either unachievable or impractical, okay? A lot of that is just part of being young. A lot of that is a part of living in the era that we live in now. It's going to take a lot of hard work and discipline to navigate life to your benefit in the near future, okay? You're going to have to make very careful and cautious choices. Are your parents homophobic or transphobic and you're in the closet? Maybe you have to bite your tongue and wait a little while. If you are worsening your own health actively by over-consuming political content, or you're going on like TTTT or something to look at like trans women who are 17 years old say that they're going to be like men forever or something, like maybe not do that. You need to take active control over every element of your life that you can control and shift towards maximizing them. You have to be strong. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? There are lots of other people out there on the left who will tell you stuff like, it's time to fight back, it's time to organize. Yeah, sure. But step one is step one. You're no use to yourself, anyone. You're no use to the country if you personally are a fucking wreck. So yeah, that's step one. Step one is managing yourself, your finances, your relationships. Don't self-isolate. Take walks in the sun when you can. Has the right stolen the sun from you? No, nor will they. If anything, the sun's going to be getting stronger with time. So, enjoy that. If anything, they've stolen the winter from you. Wear sunscreen. Wear sunscreen. Do stuff that makes you happy, but also try to save money. If you have relationships with family members where they are draining you, they are hateful or divisive or vindictive, maybe you should cut them off. If you have relationships with family members on whom you depend, even if they're shitty people, maybe you have to bite your tongue for a while. If you have relationships with people who are stupid or uninformed or maybe right-wing, but you don't think that they're like bad people fundamentally, they're just misinformed, maybe you can talk to them, maybe you can't. You have to make that judgment. I'm just telling you all to manage that lower level, to manage that first step on the hierarchy of self-actualization. That's all I ask of you, Because I get so many emails and messages from people who ask me stuff like, well, what can I do to help the cause? What kind of activism should I engage in? What kind of such and such? And the answer is, you're in no position to help other people. You're a fucking wreck. You're mentally unstable. Your serotonin levels are fluctuating wildly. You have a poor personal health. You don't wake up and fall asleep at the same time every day. So every day you're zombie sleepwalking through your shit. You're in no position to help anyone. Do you think that like the revolutionaries of any time period were people like you? Sleep deprived, unsure of themselves? No, they weren't. People capable of helping, people capable of building a movement are far more, literally Marx was a theorist. He wrote. He was not he was not like an on the ground organizer. That's very different, okay? That's different. Don't undercut my point with disingenuous false comparisons. You can't help others until you help yourself. Yes, Marx was stinky, I know. You should shower. Marx was stinky, you should shower. What is Marx now? Dead. Maybe if he showered, he could still be alive. So shower. If you're spending your whole day like at home doing nothing, playing games and not working, get a job. I mean it. Save some money. I know it sucks. Save some money. You might need it in the future. Develop life skills. Talk to other people. Your best chance of making it through this are being well-connected, self-actualized, and having a stable physical and mental, life. To be stable in these respects. Literally disabled, entirely dependent on the government. That's great. Keep it up. Keep it up. And incorporate more brown rice into your meal. No excuses. No excuses. Everyone has an excuse. No excuses. Everyone's trying their best. No, Vosh, you don't need to have your room clean to be able to benefit your community. Wrong. Jordan Peterson was right on this one. I've met a lot of people on the left. Trust me, okay? I'm 30 years old. That's not like old man territory, but I've been around long enough to know this. I've met a lot of people, a lot of queer people, gay, trans, leftist, anarchist, Antifa, whatever. And there is a direct correlation between how useful people are in the advocacy of their ideals and how much they manage their own life, their own personal discipline. Direct correlation. Your image of the like person who lives in a grungy studio apartment they don't care for, but then they go out and they like bring fire to the world. That's an aesthetic that you idealize because it validates your self-image of a messy person who is improving the world. You like it because you see yourself in it. It's fake. In reality, people with messy apartments aren't go-getters and world changers. They just order a lot of DoorDash and don't clean up because they lack self-control, self-discipline. They're on a fix for constant, like, short-term dopamine hits. To be fair, that works for artists. No, it doesn't. Artists who are productive, go look at actual artists throughout history. This image we have that, like, the rock star or the artist is always f***ed up on mushrooms or something and they have, like, a shit-ass... That's not true. Many of the most famous artists in history, they kept incredibly clean, austere apartments. It's not true. It's a lie. It's just bad to be messy. There's no... Don't idealize images of yourself or of other people where it's like, oh, vices are okay because they correlate to these other elements. It's not true. The best artists, they keep their paint organized. The best musicians, sure, they go out and party or whatever, but they have a methodical approach to the work that they engage in. We idealize the image of a person who fucks puts up their house or whatever, but then goes on and makes incredibly like positive contributions to the world, for the same reason we idealize the concept of like Isaac Newton developing the theory of gravity because an apple hit him on the head. We like to take this big, complicated set of procedures that is difficult and intensive and nuanced, that takes time and discipline to build, and simplify it into like it was like a moment of inspiration. It's about the spirit. It's about the heart. It's not true. Everything takes hard work, and you will have to do it. And if you complain about this, then I'm sorry, you're cooked. I'm sorry. You can't get mad at me for saying this. The artists who think that being sad and depressed increase the likelihood of them producing art kill themselves. Where's Kurt Cobain? Oh, Hendrix is doing great. This idealization of like, oh, the artist, you know, like, oh, the things are like a mess and then things are good. No, clean your room. This is ableist. Yes, if you are unable to do what I am telling you to, then just try your best. All I ask is that you try your best. You think that I'm out here like, yeah, you're in a wheelchair. Well, that's no excuse for not cleaning up the soda cup that you have next to your chair. Come on, don't be stupid. Don't look for like an excuse to think that your victimhood excuses you from the broader point here. You know, come on. Everyone always does that, and this is the reason why the right wing goes out and does stuff, and why the left wing doesn't. This is why, and I'm not joking here, the right wing has like 50 versions of their own militia groups. Why they did Jan 6, why they did this, they did that. They don't mind discipline as a push. They don't mind it as a thing to value and idealize. But I'm not advocating it in a self-destructive fashion. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't complain about your job or your work. I'm not telling you that it's easy. I'm not telling you you're a bad person for not doing it. I'm telling you what I think will give you the best chance of surviving going forward. And people are going to say, this is me being privileged. This is me being white. This is me being ableist. I'm trying my best here with you. I'm trying my best with you. Okay? This isn't being done out of contempt or hatred. I'm not here to judge you. I don't know you and I don't care about you. Not as an individual person in chat. I'm trying to give broader advice. If you reject it, that's on you. It's your prerogative. Maybe you know your life better than I know yours. Almost certainly that's the case. But I think what I'm saying is true, and I just want you to have the best possible shot of making it through this. And by the way, I've been saying this for years. A lot of people have come at me saying this was good advice. No one's come at me saying it was bad advice. Emails, messages in the hundreds, maybe at this point the thousands, to the effect of, thank you for that advice. I get a lot of them. You know how many people have said the opposite? Zero. None. Zero people. Not a single person has ever said, I tried to take discipline in my own life day to day more seriously, and as a consequence of it, my life was made worse. I have never heard that, and I don't think I ever will. I think that it's one of the easiest, clearest, most consistent points of advice that you could ever offer anyone. It's almost always correct. And if you think it's not correct in your case, you're probably wrong. Why would people contact you just to say your advice is bad? People don't usually do that. You haven't seen my inbox. People actually really enjoy telling me when they disagree with me. Believe it or not. But not on this topic. Not on this one. Anyway, again, the goal here isn't to patronize you guys. I understand that I'm overreacting to a few people who disagree with what I'm saying. It's not my goal here to turn this into a, see, you're too weak to survive. That's not the point. It's not like I'm perfect, by the way. It's not like I literally opened the stream by saying like, yeah, I stayed up late last night playing Brotato. I'm stressed. This election has stressed me. I'm probably, materially speaking, in a better position than most of the people watching. In fact, that's certainly the case. And I'm still stressed. You should also be stressed. But stress isn't productive. Stress is a natural response to the environment right now. That doesn't mean it's productive. You have to respond to it as best as you can. I'm just another fallible person. I'm only telling you this. The only reason you're hearing this from me is because I'm the guy here saying it. It's not because I'm living a life of like austere Spartan discipline and I'm here to like, I'm not, the guy who eats raw testicles here telling you that, the liver king, telling you that if you eat like one more raw goat in a single sitting, you'll turn into like a muscle-bound steroid user or something. I just want you guys to make it through this, all right? And after you've done all of that, I think you will be in a better position to change the world for the positive, to organize and stuff. I think you have to handle this first and then move forward with it. Because again, people always ask me like, I get emails to the effect of like, hey, I'm a 17-year-old who just got kicked out of my parents' house for coming out as trans. What can I do to like help build community organizing in the city that I'm in or something? And I'm like, mother, you need to like get a house. You need to, there are like 17 steps that you need to take care of. And you know why I get emails like that? Why I get emails from people who are asking me really dumb questions like that? It's because a lot of people have an easier time imagining the world changing than themselves. That's how the brain is. You imagine yourself as this permanent concrete fixture. And for those of you who are more selfless, you don't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe you go to sleep cold in an alley, but there are other people going to sleep cold in alleys, and their problems are more real than yours because, like, you're managing it. Maybe they're not. You need to get over the Christ complex. You are no use to anyone in that position at all. You need to manage yourself. Otherwise, the best case scenario is you're getting burned out. The worst case scenario is you dying. This is the part I don't agree with. Yes, secure your life, but you don't need perfect discipline before you can organize. I'm not saying you need perfect discipline before you can organize. I'm saying you need to get your life together. Cut with the vices. Cigarettes, weed, alcohol. Just stop. I know that's tough. I know that's unfair. But it'll help. Literally no one, and I mean no one ever in all of human history, has ever been like, that period of my life was difficult, but it was heavily assisted by chemical dependencies. Come on. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying, oh, he says cut out cigarettes. I am saying that. Don't you know that it's hard? Yes. It's extremely. I'm not proportioning the correctness of my advice based on, like, how easy it is to do. I'm just telling you what I think you should do. Except for coffee. Listen, okay? Coffee's different. I'll accept criticisms for coffee dependency, but not from people who are dependent on weed, okay? Motherfuckers are out here not remembering a single conversation they've had every night for the past 3 years because they spend like $600 a month on weed. And they're like, well, you spending $2 a day on coffee that helps you focus a little better is kind of like that. So you don't have the right to tell me don't even start. What about sugar dependencies? I'm not here to get into the nitty gritty. I'm just trying to advocate for people, okay? I just want you guys to make it through this. Okay, I have no dependencies. Get off coffee? No. Anyway, I don't think you need to be perfectly disciplined. I just think that a lot of you are nowhere near even being, like, a lot of you aren't even close to being able to make the claim that I'm pushing you towards perfect discipline. You know what I mean? And yeah, I do think a lot of you could stand to lose weight. Not even because it's like, oh, you're ugly. I don't know how the fuck you look. You're literally text to me. It has nothing to do with moral consideration. A lot of you want to be skinnier. A lot of you do. Maybe a lot of you don't. Great. And if you don't want to be skinnier, then don't. But it's a matter of health. And your health will matter. Why? Because you're not going to have health care. I'm actually underweight. Then obviously I'm not talking about you. Obviously. There's a motherfuckers in chat being like, oh, I know 90% of people are pudgy or whatever. I'm too skinny. Does he mean me? Use your head. If you can't use your head on that, then how can you possibly assess any of the politics that we engage? Like, we go over harder topics than this, don't we? I want you to be healthy. You have to be healthy. You have to be healthy. You're not getting healthcare, motherfucker. You think that's going to get easier? It's only going to get more expensive. The healthier a life you live, statistically, like, the greater a likelihood you are not burdened with great medical debt. It's not about judging. How do I gain weight in a healthy way? Is it brown rice? There's a lot of food. This is a weird time to preach your dare shit, Vosh. Congratulations on getting to be the main character now. You are cooked. You already occupy the ditch they're going to throw you in. I say don't spend your excess income on addictions, and you're like, oh, this is like the dare officer who came in and lied to me and said that weed would give me bowel cancer or something. You are so wrapped up in contrarianism. The fear-mongering and propaganda that the state and your parents drilled into your brain, and then when you hit 16, you realize they were lying, and since then, everyone who tells you that weed is bad for you is just another agent of the state, man. Just another cooked, devil's lettuce, huh? It's gonna kill me, huh? Did you know that weed is actually less addictive than sugar or video games? You need to take more ownership over your life. Because if you respond with that level of reflexive defensiveness, if you're talking about the dare shit, you probably haven't even caught up to me telling you need to lose weight. You probably do. Is that me being fat phobic? Or is that me caring about your well-being? Maybe you don't need to lose weight. I don't know if you're skinny or not. I know you could stop smoking weed. No one ever brings up dare anymore unless they're a weed addict. All of you are. Oh, this is just like dare. You're addicted to marijuana. I see right through you. It's true, though. It is literally true, though. Vosh, actually being serious, smoking cigarettes helped me make friends and lose weight. I feel like there was probably a better way, but we can't take back the past. I can't I can't do this, guys. Look, okay. But wait, Vosh, is this the message? Just prepare to tank through the term, stay alive for 4 years? Ideally more than 4 years. But yeah, that is the, yeah, you need to be strong. You need to have money. You need to be physically strong. You need to be mentally strong. You need to be disciplined. You need to develop a friend circle. Online, probably offline, preferably, whatever. You need to be strong. Yes, you have to tank it. You have to, they're going to be hitting you, and you have to live, because if you can't live, you die. That's how it works. Yes, that is what you have to do. Yes, you have to be strong to tank it. And if your answer to me is like, well, that's not fair because I am weak, and that's what you're saying when you say like, oh, I can't cut the vice, oh, I don't want to do this, oh, I don't want to do that, then okay, maybe you're weak and you don't make it. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm on your side here. Like you're saying that like that's my fault, or I'm like in favor of the circumstances that are coming for all of us. I'm not at all. If a hurricane is coming to a neighborhood and I tell everyone they need to tape their windows to try to like reinforce them against the coming weather, and somebody's like, well, I can't tape my windows because of their shape or size, then my answer to that is like, well, that really sucks. But maybe you can tape them. Maybe it'll just take like a different process. These chatters are idiots. I quit smoking after years of smoking daily, and it was the single best behavioral change I ever made. It helps. Vosh, you sound like Ayn Rand. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Life is going to get hard. And it's going to demand a lot of you. And if you want to make it through that, you need to be strong enough to meet those demands. That's it. That's not a moral statement. It is a factual statement about the way things are going to be. You either you maximize your odds or you don't. You try your best or you don't. This is painful to listen to because obviously healthy things are healthy, but Vosh seems to have no idea how these things happen. Just be disciplined. Don't be addicted. Ooh, no. You're projecting that onto me because you want to believe that my ignorance absolves you of your weakness. It doesn't. I know how difficult these things are. I lost 90 pounds. I have friends who have succumbed to addiction. I've had friends who've crawled out of addiction. I know. What do you want? A 12 steps class right here? I know it's hard. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm telling you it's necessary. Don't look for excuses to ignore what I'm saying. Vosh, you weighed 250 pounds. I weighed 290 pounds. 290? I was literally on stream at 290. I just need to hear Vosh's definition of a strong person. In this context, somebody who can weather adversity. And that means saving money, not succumbing to vices, trying your best, being disciplined, managing your health, go to sleep at regular times, wake up at regular times, build a strong social network, find things that make you happy and engage in them to responsible extents. Keep your mental health strong, you know? I will not accept criticisms from people who wake up at noon every day after staying up till 6 playing Deadshot with internet friends who you don't even like know that well or care about that much, but you're in a shared Discord server, and then you wake up in the morning feeling like ass, and then you have like reheated Chinese leftovers and you feel bad all day. Like, look, all I'm saying is that when Joe Rogan or whatever the f says this stuff, people don't argue against it. It's just whatever. It's fine. Because you're being undialectical? No, I'm not. F you. What does that mean? I think that person was joking. Vosh, will you be proud of me if I fix myself? I kinda need a dad figure. No, I don't know you. I can't be proud of you. You should be proud of yourself. Strength comes from here. Blocked by the mic. From here. Well, the heart's here, I guess. You understand the point. You have to be your own dad. Get into the self-cess trend. It's big on Tumblr right now. Is it? I don't know. Are you mocking me, Thana? Philomath, I'm not saying that you should do one to the extent of another, or to the expense of another, though. I will in the future talk about what I think you can do for the community. The problem is, I think that's going to be a very like circumstantially dependent thing. It's not like everyone. I'm not going to say like, oh, go out and go to your local housing co-op and offer to grow vegetables or what. Like, I'm not going to give you some bullshit like feel good. Oh, you worked at the soup kitchen, therefore fascism defeated, etc., etc. I've got my nose to the ground. Okay. I will try my best to keep up on that. A lot of it's going to depend on the specific circumstances that we are faced with. But the bedrock work of just being strong, important. Very important. Labor camps might be a good thing for you, actually. Yeah, the left under Trump, they get sent to labor camps on the border, and they're like, actually, yeah, I'm pro-Trump now. I've never felt better. I wake up early every day. I get like consistent exercise. I get lots of sunshine. Actually, this is actually the best that I've felt all day. Oh no, no, no. RFK Jr., the fucking supreme vizier of well-being. Yeah, bad times create strong men. Exactly.